invite up my better half. Some of you may know her as a professor of molecular biology here at Colorado College, Phoebe Lostroh, Dr. Phoebe Lostroh. I do realize that it may be a little questionable to have a staph infection in which a faculty member is featured prominently. Today of all days, staff members are valued, and, well, we won't follow that line of thought. But I am so grateful to have someone in my life who sings my music and sings it beautifully. So we're now going to really shift the energy substantially. That was very dense. There were a lot of ideas in it. I think similar ideas will emerge from the songs, but in clearer ways and simpler ways, and most importantly, as all you songwriters out there will know, ways that rhyme. So, please welcome Phoebe. Now I'm going to come up between the songs and talk very briefly about them. I should have introduced that one, so sorry about that. I've actually written a couple of songs about stories over the course of my life. I'm a big fan of StoryCorps and of the idea that stories are the building blocks upon which we build meaning, and that stories are kind of our sociological atoms. Perhaps Christine could give us a smaller particle, but I'll go with atoms. But for this song, I was in a moment where I really wanted it to be about compassion and the idea that listening to other people, learning from them, and finding the courage and compassion to listen well and share well and build bridges and build connections is a political act, a spiritual act, a religious act, a human act. So that's where that song came from. When it's done with more instruments, it has a nice solo, but I didn't want to try to do that now. The next song we're going to do is the oldest song of the four that I've written, and it was written in 2003 as we were leading up to the Iraq War, and it was approaching Equinox in March, and I found myself meditating a lot on the incredible challenges of being a good human being, because I truly believe, as Solzhenitsyn said, that the line between good and evil runs through every human heart. I really believe that. I've seen it in my life and many lives. And so I suddenly thought, what better than the equinox proper, that moment of balance, to try to articulate what our hopes and fears are and how we ask for help in being the best people we can be. So that's Equinox, and I'll introduce the others right before we do them. So here's Equinox. Unitarian Universalist, but one of my dirty secrets is, earlier in life, before I met Phoebe, I listened to a lot of contemporary Christian music. And the reason I did this was not because those were my doctrinal beliefs, but because it was the only place I heard religion in pop music. And of course, eventually, as you're hearing now, I thought, well, I'm not hearing it elsewhere, I'm going to write my own. But one of the things I have always remembered from that era of listening to CCM was the profound importance of the image of the harvest and farming metaphors. Now, in that community, for that doctrinal background, harvesting and farming and being in the field is about evangelism. It's about proselytizing. But I thought, okay, that's not my language or my priorities, but it's a great metaphor. It's a great set of images. So what is the farm work for people of liberal religion. What is our harvest? If it isn't going out and trying to make all of you believe exactly what I do, which would be very complicated anyway, because what I believe is very complicated anyway. And the answer I eventually found was in the idea that the harvest is the work we do for our own or toward our own wholeness. So hopefully you'll hear in this song both a nod, if you listen to contemporary Christian music or ever did, hopefully you will hear a nod toward it. But hopefully you'll also hear a way that it has been moved to mean something a little bit different. So here's Phoebe Lostroh again, bringing in the harvest. So like a lot of leftist Jews whose parents write music, I was brought up on all sorts of good protest songs. And, you know, when I was in college and in my 20s, I wrote a lot of directly political music that I would never play now because it's horrifically earnest, even more earnest than what you're about to hear. And it's horrifically didactic, even more didactic than what you're about to hear. But sometimes I write songs not because I already believe what's in them, but because it's a really good way to try to make myself believe what's in them. I write what I want to come to accept and believe. I write what I want to live up to. So this is a shamelessly political song. It's not a protest song. It's a song about getting involved, being part of the solution, making the difference. Here's Phoebe Lostroh.